Hello, hello. For anybody that is joining us, you are seeing the master woodworker of RKC Woodwork Design at work, in action, creating. Right now, we're working on the outdoor frame of the refrigerator door. You want to tell us a little bit about what you're doing here?
Yeah, yesterday I made a mistake and I forgot that the dimension of the rails and the stiles were not what I had originally drawn on my drawing. I had them originally at 3 3/8 of an inch, when it's actually 2.5 of an inch. So what happened was this door ended up being too narrow for the opening. It was about 1.25 inches too short. So in comparison, if you come around here, in yesterday's video, we were talking about making these door rails and stiles for the front of the refrigerator cabinet. This door right here goes to the lower cabinet. As you see, it's going to cover like this, and it's going to have these raised inset panels like you see here. Well, yesterday while I was making the larger refrigerator drawer, this came out being too short because I made a mistake in not accounting for a narrower rail and stile, so I was off. So what I had to do yesterday was re-mill some wood that I just got finished running the jointer and the table saw and cutting the rabbet in. These are the correct width. Now when I assemble the door, it will cover the opening where the refrigerator goes. So that's where we're at today, and hopefully we'll get to a point where we'll get the beaded sideboards in and start finishing this cabinet and getting ready for staining.
Okay. See, even the best make mistakes. What you do when you make the mistakes, you just go back and you fix them. That's all you can do. That's what they say. Measure twice, cut once. Otherwise, you lose time. But it happens. It happens to the best of us. Hi, Battle Darty. Welcome, welcome. We're glad that you're here to watch a little bit of Ron in action as he's working on this outdoor kitchen. This is where we are now. This is he's working on the door frame right here, and he just was explaining how he had to fix an error that he made, and that happens. It's going to happen, and all you do is just embrace it and keep it moving. You find a way to fix it and keep it moving, but you don't stop. Don't let it stop you.
So again, this is nothing special. This is just pocket hole joinery and some good Titebond 3 waterproof glue. I don't expect that these will see a lot of moisture, but I always like using a waterproof glue when I can because it's the strongest available. So now that these pieces are wired, once I get this assembled, it will work on the covering up the refrigerator. So I just used a little quick clamp pressure here. Make sure my joining surfaces are flush, and the way I've come to do this is I just like to trust the feel of my hand. I can feel this joint is smooth. Once I know what it is, I'll put a little bit of pressure. And this is just a simple bar clamp, nothing special. And then I'll drive the screws in there to tighten and pull the joint so I can move on to the next assembly. And once again, I don't like to overdrive my screws. I don't use an impact driver. I just use a regular drill. And just let the screw see itself and then give it a little bit of turn and move on. Nice tight joint.
Any woodworkers out there? Any fellow woodworkers?
I like to wipe off the glue glue before it gets a chance to set. Just makes it easier when it comes to sanding. And this glue has a tendency to show up as a blotch when you go to stain. But basically, that's our joint. I can go ahead and remove this clamp now with the screws in place. And I'll move forward to this piece right here.
Hi, for those of you joining us, this is RKC Woodwork Design in Action.
And this is by far not the perfect wood shop setup, but this is
No.
just what I have to work with.
And we work with what we have.
So
We work with what we have.
I need to reestablish my center line on here because this is a newer piece other than a piece I made yesterday. So it should be about 2.5. So we should be about 1.25 inches to the middle.
Can you guys hear us? Can you hear Ron? Can you hear
Go ahead
us?
and mark it at 1.25 inches. Grab my combination square. Just reference my center line. This is going to be a point where I can minus that. Oh, this is going to be the mid rail since this is so tall.
Welcome
So
to our woodworking studio.
Some glue on the surface.
Yeah.
And I went through all this process yesterday, but like I say, when I went to size it up, I'm like, whoops, not wide enough. And there was no way to fix it other than to cut it. So the Titebond glue has really strong gripping. The initial grip of this glue is pretty strong, and if you actually just hold it here for a few seconds, put a little bit of pressure on it, it already starts to bond. That's why I like this glue so much. The viscosity is really good on it, and I can let go without it sliding around, and then I can position my clamp. One of these days I'll invest and get me some good parallel clamps, but for now, these little Harbor Freight clamps do the job.
Yes,
And
well, so much for that sticking.
yeah, it happens.
See what happens when you watch live? It happens.
What's the saying go? You fake it till you make it.
Fake it till you make it.
So I just got to put pressure on here just to get this where I want it. Get my center line up, get my feel from the edge, make sure I'm good flush. Put a little bit of clamp pressure on here to hold it. These are only going to give one pocket screw. You're not really carrying any load. They're just to add strength. And what I like to do is, before I even try the fastener, I like to check my rail for square. And I can see that that's pretty good right there. You can look at the gap, we're good and square. So now that I know it's good and square, I can go ahead and drive my single screw in the center rail to be attached.
All right, watch this, and then
It's just
if you have any questions, feel free to ask.
And we're good.
Voila. It won't be falling off like it just did. See, look at that. He even just hit it and it didn't fall.
And I want to wipe off the excess to prevent any staining.
I'm about to log off here, so if you have any questions or any comments, feel free to ask. And I'll probably get back on later today so you can see the progress. It's fun watching it from beginning to end, so make sure you like and subscribe and put your notifications on just so you can follow along.
We're almost done.
Ron is quite the handyman. So once he's done with this, I'm going to be following all the little projects that he does. I think next it will be a bathroom remodel, semi-remodel. So make sure you just join along with us right now. We're working on an outdoor kitchen. And this is the door frame for the refrigerator door.
And if you guys haven't invested in one of these, I highly recommend these little glue bottles. They're excellent. Holds your glue. You just squeeze it, puts glue where you need it, keeps your glue nice and ready to flow. It's one of the best investments I've made in a while.
There you go. That right there.
Just those simple things.
The little simple things. Got it from Amazon, right, Ron?
I like to buy my glue in bulk too. It's cheaper that way. You buy it by the gallon. It's a lot
And
cheaper
then you
than
just
buying.
pour it in here in this
It's a
little
lot cheaper
contraption
than
here.
buying one bottle at a time.
Look at that.
Like I say, I just like to use my finger just to make sure it's okay if it's a little proud because I'm gonna sand it anyway. But
Mhm.
the feel of your hand is there's no replacing that.
Mhm. It's that natural tool, your fingers. Okay, my battery's about to die, so Ron, I'm gonna check off here and let you get to work.
Complete the other side, and this frame will be done.
Yep, and I'll come back. Are you gonna be attaching it to the door later on today?
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe we got a lot of steps to go to before we get to that, but there's a
Okay.
chance.
All right, so make sure you put your notifications on so that you can see when I go live again to show where he's at. Have a wonderful day. We appreciate you guys watching. And we will check with you guys later. RKC Woodwork Design signing off.